mentally assent or agree with the word. Who wouldn't agree with the idea that by the stripes of Jesus you were healed? Wow, that's awesome. Who wouldn't want to agree with that? But mentally assenting to it and believing. That's right. When you've come to a place of faith, you are rejoicing before you ever see the answer. Amen. Because it's that settled in your heart that it is the truth that you need. And of course, Jesus said to Thomas in the Gospel of John, chapter 20, verse 29, he said, Thomas, you believe because you've seen. But then he made a hugely important statement. Blessed, empowered to prosper or increase are those who believe yet have not seen. That's what God says faith is. If you got to see your healing before you're really going to believe this, if you've approached it as, okay, I've prayed, I've had hands laid on, I see. Well, you're not going to see much of anything. If you've tithed for a few months and said, well, let's see if the windows of heaven are open. If you sowed seed and said, well, let's see if I'm indeed going to reap a harvest that God says I'll reap. Well, you're not going to see anything. Because your faith is based on what you wind up seeing. And you've got to get to a place where you hear enough word and this becomes so established in your heart that you rejoice before you see the promise of God. Amen. Then you know you're in faith. Amen. Jesus said it's going to be unto you according to your faith. The promises you walk in. And I see this all the time. There are people that love God, that are genuinely saved. They're born again. They love the Lord. But their healing doesn't come. They have financial difficulty. Their relationships are falling apart. Many areas of their life aren't working, and you want to say, man, I know they love the Lord as much as anybody. Well, it's going to be unto them according to their faith. They're not going to walk in these promises consistently. God's mercy can intervene from time to time, but you're to live by faith. You're not going to walk in these promises on a consistent basis until you believe.